Good morning, friends. I am Teddy Hicks, and I'm reading you an affirmation from my book, My Life Gets Better Every Day. Today's November 29th, 2025, and our affirmation for today is, I could. Can you feel the openness of that statement? It has none of the obligation and guilt of, I should. It's flexible and inviting and inspires your brain to consider all the options. And you always want to give yourself options. Love, Teddy. So I love this. It is a huge mindset shift to go from pushing yourself to do things that for one reason or other are difficult or you don't want to do, and constantly having that feeling of like guilt and overwhelm and shame of not like sticking with the program or doing what you've said you're going to do, to just opening yourself to saying, oh, I could do that. I could do that if I wanted to. It takes the pressure off. It makes your brain open up. It makes you feel more motivated to get stuff done because you're thinking about possibilities rather than obligations. You're thinking about openness and options rather than pressure and kind of guilt, right? So it never really works to try to force yourself to do things, right? We know that. We know that. You have a certain amount of willpower. It might last a little bit of time, but unless you can find a way to sustain it and continue with something that feels good to you and feels like productive and open and easy, you're not going to stick with it, right? So a lot of the work around that is removing all of the pressure, removing that like hard, difficult kind of energy, and opening yourself to a more like productive and possibility thinking kind of energy. So this is a ridiculous example, but this is just what's popping into my head right now. Sometimes when I have a chore to do around the house that I really don't want to do, but I know I have to do, it's like the way my brain works. If I've gotten one day behind on stuff, it's like everything just feels like so overwhelming and I can't, it's like I can't even wrap my head around it. So for example, if like today's a day I know I have to vacuum or we're all going to choke to death on cat hair in our sleep, telling myself I have to do it makes it a million times harder for me. Telling myself I have to do it, today's the day, it has to be done first thing this morning, makes it feel like this enormous burden, right? Like, and I want to do it even less. Like it becomes even harder, and it's more just this mental game that I get into. And I have to go, you know what? It's okay if I don't get to it today. I have to trick my brain. I have like, I'm in there. I know what's going on, but I literally just removing that pressure and going, you know what? No big deal. It's just vacuuming. If I miss another day, that's okay. We'll all live. Then all of a sudden, 5-10 minutes later, it's like, oh, I'll just vacuum, like it's not a big deal. And I'm, it's like it's like the psychology of it is you have to remove the obligation and the pressure and just make it seem like a possibility, make it seem like something that you could do. And then it feels like so much easier, right? So I know that's a simplistic example, but it really does work. So try today if you're feeling like there's something that is hard or heavy, or you've really been pushing yourself to try to get it together, just take off all that pressure and say, I could do that if I wanted to. I don't have to. We'll see how it goes. And see if that doesn't just change the way you think and feel about it and make everything feel a heck of a lot easier. Thank you so much for listening. I appreciate it. Would love a like and subscribe if you have a second. And I will see you tomorrow with the next one. Bye. Have a great day.